Guys, so I cream coated the tops of all these. What we did on this one was we took brick red and mixed a little bit of black in it to kind of darken it up some.
The babies are there, Jim.
Give it kind of a burnt look, a burnt red look. So we'll wait for these to dry, and then later today after work we'll go ahead and give them a final polish, touch up the faces, and yeah, all good. All right, everybody, we are back at the shop after a good morning of pouring concrete and getting a couple other things ready. So looking at these countertops, even though we cream coat them, I think it was 6 hours ago or so, I mean, it's good. It's good to go. I think we can polish this and not have to worry about a thing. But I really like the way this red turned out. It's like a almost kind of like a burnt, smoky, brownish, reddish kind of deal. This is gonna look sweet. So we're gonna get the camera set up and get polishing. Countertops are wet. It gives you a pretty good representation of what it's going to look like when it's sealed. The sealer will bring a little bit more color out. However, this will get you close. And I got to tell you, I am really liking the contrast. We have a really nice, just a nice harvest wheat base. It's you know, obviously it's a really nice light tan color. And then the black and the dark red just really help to set that off. So I have that big piece in there to still polish the top on, to take the cream coating off. And then we're going to take our hand polishing pads and just kind of go along the edge, you know, clean up any chunkage like that, clean that up, just to kind of help it all blend together. Sorry. And then gonna just again take some of that off just so it looks really natural. And I wanted to give you guys a look at the tops, but I had to run and grab some safety glasses first. Throw these on, you guys, because these things are looking so sharp. I don't want anybody getting cut. Just kidding. I will give you guys a little preview of it though. Alright, so here's the tops. And this piece, like I said, like I said before, it's when it's wet like this with water, it gives you a good representation of what it's going to look like after it's sealed. But the sealer will pull a little bit more of the color out. But I mean, I'm really liking the nice contrast we have between like the red and the black, as well as our base color, that harvest wheat. These things are looking nice. Alright guys, that's a wrap for today. I'm going to go ahead and let these dry off while I get all this water pushed out of the garage. All right, everyone. It is, what day is it? Sunday morning. We're up at the shop. The countertops that we've been polishing for the last couple days, they are all good and dry. They're ready for sealer. And this is probably my favorite part of this whole process, is because they look kind of like dull and just bleh right now. But as soon as we, these are just the samples, but as soon as we seal these countertops, it's really going to bring these to life and kind of show all of the color that we've been working towards. And it's just a really cool point in this process. It's probably my favorite part. So we're going to get the camera set up. I'll take you through the prep work before we seal, and let's get to it. Okay, so before we seal them, I really like to use these tack cloths. You can get them at any of your local hardware stores. I got these from Home Depot. But they're just like, that's what, you know, they're tack cloths. They're a little bit tacky, so that whenever you wipe them down, it really helps to pick up all the dust and any little particles that are kind of lingering on it, instead of just a regular rag that, you know, you run the risk of just smearing it rather than actually picking it up. So even just a little bit of wiping right here in this small area, you can see how much dust and debris it picked up. So you want to do this, I'll probably wipe these all down, and I'm sure Emily will put in a nice little time lapse there. But I'm going to wipe them all down probably 2 or 3 times just to make sure they're as clean as possible. Number one, that's going to give you a truer look. It's not going to look splotchy or cloudy. Well, that was first point, sorry, it's Sunday morning. Reason 2 is because it's going to give the sealer a better surface to bind to. The cleaner these are, the better the sealer is going to hold and the longer it'll last. Guys, so I went around and I hit all of the pieces, and the 2 over there that you can't really see right now. But I mean, this is just all the dust and residue that was on the top from polishing. Now I know I said after you're done polishing to give everything a good spray, just to clean the surface. That right there is proof that just spraying them down doesn't actually clean them, that you gotta wipe them before you seal them. And if you noticed, I didn't do the face, and the reason is because this is still very porous. You still have a lot of rough surface for that sealer to bind onto, whereas the top is completely polished smooth, very little to no open pores. So that sealer needs all the help it can to make sure it binds. And wiping them down like that, making sure it's clean, is the best way to do that. All right, so the surface is cleaned. I have my roller. I have my cup full of sealer. And for these countertops, they are for an outside barbecue area. So what I'm choosing to do on these ones is use our Butterfield Clear Guard Pro 350 Cure and Seal. Now the reason I'm choosing to use these is because we use this sealer like on our patios and decorative concrete, and I know it'll withstand the extreme temperature changes that we have between the really hot summers and the really cold winters. I know it has a UV protectant in it, so it's not going to get all yellow from the sun hitting it. Now if they were interior countertops, I would be using a different sealer. It's a 2-part epoxy, but next set of kitchen countertops, I'll make sure I walk you through that. So like I said, for this set, it's outside. I know the sealer will withstand all of the elements that it's going to be hit with. So we're going to go ahead and get them sealed. Now this is very important. You don't want to just dump a ton of sealer on it. You want to make sure you roll it on nice and even. And I prefer doing multiple light coats of sealer rather than trying to just do a one and done. So just start off with a little puddle, wheel it around nice and evenly. Add a little more. I'm sure you guys can already see all that color just being pulled right out. So another reason why I like this sealer, especially for this, it's not the thickest sealer, so it's pretty easy to work with. If you do have a spot where you might miss or something, so like we have a bunch of lights above us, so I can kind of use the glare from the light to look around and make sure I don't have any big puddles of sealer that are going to dry and leave a big bump in them. With this sealer being a little bit on the thinner side, it does self-level pretty nice. And when you're in a controlled environment like this, so right now in our shop, I want to say it's probably 60 degrees, maybe a little bit warmer. It's not gonna flash, like it's not gonna flash dry really quick. So like if we were out in the sun, I guarantee you those first couple pieces I sealed would be dry already. So working with this stuff in a controlled environment is really nice because it works to your advantage. You have a lot more working time, I guess, that you're able to push the sealer around and move it without actually tearing up and undoing the surface binding. So that's nice. And then, like I said, it will self-level a little bit for you, so you don't have to worry about big lumps of sealer. And if you noticed, I saved the faces for last. That way, if you can see this chunkage right there hanging down, proof that the fiber works. I just don't want my roller to pick anything like that up off the face, since we didn't wipe them down, and then start rolling on top and have debris get locked into the sealer. So now that the tops are all done, I'm gonna go ahead and work around and hit the edges. All right, guys, there is coat of sealer number 1. I mean, you can obviously tell how much of a difference that makes, just how much color gets pulling out, and you can see all the detail and everything. I got some bad news for the homeowner. Richie, I'm sorry, man, I think these are coming to my house, so I'm gonna have to make you a new set that doesn't look this good. Just kidding. That is one of the reasons why I really enjoy doing this kind of stuff, is that it's a good change of pace from driveways and patios and sidewalks and all the normal chaos that we're dealing with, but every single set looks different. I can show people colors, but when it comes down to it, customers pick the colors, I make them, and they always turn out just so neat. The number of options we have to work with all the different colors and finishes and everything like that, it's really cool. It kind of gives it gives the customer's house that just real custom feel. So yeah, these things, in my opinion, turned out really, really sharp. But again, that's just my opinion. I would absolutely put these in my house for sure. So we're gonna let this sealer dry for probably the majority of the day. We're gonna go home and watch the Steelers game, go Steelers, and then probably after that come back up and hit it with coat number 2, and then depending on how that takes, maybe do a 3rd coat first thing in the morning. We're going to be doing install on these tomorrow afternoon, so Monday afternoon, and we'll make sure to film that so you guys can see all the install and everything. But I'm really happy with the way these turned out, so we'll see you guys in a little bit. Everybody, it's install day. My dad ran the back grill piece back, so that's going there. He's got the piece that goes from the middle here over to here. I've got the big piece that goes here, and then Jim's bringing out this piece and this piece. So we're gonna go ahead and get these set.
These are pretty cool legs, Steve.
Yeah, they are. Richie made them.
Yeah.
Old barn beams, and he custom made plates for each one.
Okay. That's coming together. The big section's coming in next. We poured this when they built the house. And then a couple years later, we did this when they put the swimming pool in. We did this probably 6 or 7 years ago. You can see it needs a coat of sealer, but it's holding up really well. Did a border, then a main body. All the way around there. Pretty nice setup back here. Okay, so they're got them in position. Now they're just finalizing it. We're looking for about a 1/16, 1/8 inch gap between these. And the grills sit right in that pocket there. I like the rounded corner, Steve. Nobody will be cracking a rib on it.
A little bit of shimming, touch up with the grinder.
Take the grinder to even these up a little bit and then recolor.
Okay, so we got all the caulking done underneath with these posts that Richie made for us. These top plates are black, so really this is the only caulking that matters. We did all of this in black, you know, made it look pretty nice. Over here where the grill's going, this is all getting covered with concrete board and then stoned. So the caulking under here can be, you know, whatever you have, red, black, green, white, whatever. The stone will be coming all the way up to the bottom, so it'll all be covered, but you still want to make it nice. And there's these sections here that we had to grind down a little bit. You kind of want to just follow, you know, your ridge, make it look a little bit rough, but not like it was done with a grinder. And then we'll add some black coloring and some sealer, and you won't even be able to notice. Then we have our seams. We're going to get our epoxy and mix up some harvest wheat, some black, and some red with black. Tape these off, mix it in, get it to blend in real nice, and then this one will be done.
Just wanted to show you that. And then these all get stoned under there. Probably to match the chimney, I would guess.
Alright guys, so we finished up this countertop install yesterday, and I forgot the camera, so I wanted to come back and give you a rundown of everything that we did to finalize these. After we got everything shimmed and caulked underneath, we went ahead and drilled in a couple holes on these plates up into the concrete to anchor those down with some Tapcons. So now with those being anchored there and then being anchored there, these things will never fall over, they'll never shake loose, they'll be good. Next, we went ahead and set the seams. So now the seams are all filled in with epoxy. It's just a 2-part epoxy that you mix up, and we try to mix the base color in just to get it to blend in a little more. One thing I did want to point out is that we never try to sell these as a seamless countertop. There are seams, however, we've gotten them to the point now where we can, you know, hide them. They're not going to jump out at you, but they are there. So we never ever try to sell them as a seamless countertop. But so we went ahead and mixed in our harvest wheat base, and then after they're done, right before they set up to dry, I like to take a little bit of black or whatever color we used for the cream coating. In this case, it would have either been black or like a dark red, and just kind of smear a little bit on there. That way it really helps to blend in. So then all the areas that we had to grind down to match, just touch those up with some sealer, and that was it. So we're going to go ahead and give you guys a final overview of this. That's a wrap for this one. I hope you enjoyed watching what goes into our concrete countertops. I know I missed some things, so the next video I do, I'll try to get it from start to finish, the templating, prepping, pouring, all of that. So if you like what you saw, please click the like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Have a good day. Thanks for tuning in to Concrete with the Hosses. Have a good one.